but then you have to live in harmony. You have to figure out what are the most important things to you. Hey everyone, it's Charles with Faith, Family, Freedom. And today we're going to talk about how do you keep things balanced with family and business and other things that are going on in your life. So make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe so we can bring you more valuable content, and comment below your thoughts on this video. How do you balance family with all these other things happening in your life? Maybe it's with your job, maybe it's with your church or a hobby or whatever it is that you got going on. How do you balance those things, right? That could be a bit of a challenge, especially if maybe you just had a baby. A good friend of mine, he was asking me the other day, like, how do you keep up with all this stuff with work and church and your business, and you just had a baby and all that stuff? You think about it, what I believe, and I learned this from Gary Keller and Jay Papasan in their book, The One Thing, really good book, is in life, it'll never be balanced. So let's even take the balance word out of our vocabulary, because here's why. For something to be balanced, that means it has to be of equal weight, right? If you look at a balance or scale, in order for that scale to stay balanced, you have to have equal weight. And in life, everything is not necessarily going to be equally weight. So, looking at this, right? I have a water in one hand and I have a book in one hand. So sometimes in life, a lot of times in life, it's not going to be balanced. There's going to be something that's carrying more weight for that time, for that season in your life. And so when I had a baby, my life was completely unbalanced. And that's okay. I took off 2 weeks. I would like to take off even more. But I took off 2 weeks to be my wife and daughter. So it was completely unbalanced. I wasn't really looking at business. We didn't go to church. We watched church online, but it was completely unbalanced. It was completely focused on my wife and my daughter in that moment. And I wouldn't change anything in the world for that. So the key thing is not really finding balance, is finding harmony in life, right? Harmony among all the things you've got going on. Sometimes it's going to be unbalanced. I just went to San Diego the other day for a conference, a real estate conference. Completely unbalanced because, for those 3 days, I was completely out of town, networking, making business connections. I wasn't home with my wife and daughter. So that was completely unbalanced in that moment. And so sometimes you have to unbalance your life, right? But then you have to live in harmony. You have to figure out what are the most important things to you. You work on those most important things and then you schedule it out. You make time for the things in your life that matters. So for me and my wife, it's important for us to build our business. So going to those events helps us, right? So we could choose which area we want to live more unbalanced. Like we would love to be more unbalanced, where we can do more things together with our family. And we know one of the ways to get there is through financial freedom. So sometimes we have to be a little bit unbalanced a little bit and go to those events and go to those conferences and maybe sign up for a course or coaching program and pour all your effort and energy into that for that moment. But the problem with a lot of people is they get stuck, right? They get stuck chasing money, stuck chasing education or whatever it may be. And when you do that, you won't live your life in harmony. You have to remember why you started it. Remember the reason why you got into it in the first place. I think when people think of balance, they're thinking more of, living life in harmony. And I totally, took that concept from the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Definitely a great book to read. So I would encourage you out there to figure out what's important to you in your life and make time for those things. Make adjustments. Figure out a way to make all things work. What may work for me might not work for you. So this is something that everyone have to figure out how to make this work in your life. So I want to encourage you, remember your why. Figure out what's the best way for you to go about your life. And it's okay to be unbalanced as long as you're working towards that ultimate goal of faith, family, and freedom. I will see you all on the next video.